Hi, in this video, I'm going to share with you my simple, beginner-friendly 6-step method to ensure that you get a beautiful end result in your art journal that you can be really proud of. Sometimes mixed media can be overcomplicated, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. It can be super simple and heaps of fun. So stick around if you want to learn how to create something really beautiful using really simple but cheap supplies. Today I'm displaying in my art journal with some modelling paste, acrylic paint, gesso and some scrapbook paper. I'm going to break this video down into steps. I'll have the steps on the video on the screen, but I'll also break it down into chapters. So if you want to jump through the chapters, I'll have them listed in the body of the description of the video. I'll have them time-stamped just so that you can easily jump through. So the first step in the mixed media method, my mixed media method, is planning. So I know I'll be using an image out of my Dark Secrets book, which is available now on Amazon. And I'm also going to be using this gorgeous page by Graphic 45. It's from their artisan style collection, Craftsmanship. It's number 4501108. When I saw it, I knew it would go perfectly with my Dark Secrets book. So I've already started planning my page. And I've just got to choose which book. I've done some flipping and some humming and hawing. And I'll probably cut some of the flipping out because you don't need to see me procrastinating too much. I really love her. I think that she'll go gorgeously with the book. The page. I was inspired by Miss Dandy Diamonds on Instagram. She's done a gorgeous spread and popped it up on Instagram, so check her out. I love her art journal page. I'm going to cut this image out and then I'll be back. I've had second thoughts. Look at this page next to the girl on the left. And when I put them both together, I think that the girl on the left might be a better fit. And this is what planning all comes down to. It's auditioning and seeing what looks better. And to my eye, I really think that the tones in that picture on the left is a better fit for this scrapbook piece of paper. So I think I'm going to change it up and go with the woman on the left. So I'm going to chop her out and I'll be back again. And I can see I really like her on top of that scrapbook page. And on my art journal page, yeah, she's a good size. So all around, I'm really happy with the choice. I used my torn paper page ruler just to chop her out. So now I'm just going around the edge with my ink blender, and there's still some oxide ink on this sponge. So I'm going to have a little bit of an oxide look on this page, but doesn't matter. Next time I won't be so lazy. I'll get a sponge which doesn't have oxide ink on it. Oh well. All right, I'm going to ink up these edges and yeah, we'll get on to step 2. While we're still in our planning stage, I think I'm going to add some background papers, and look how well page papers, look how well the sorry, I know that's getting a bit bumpy, but look how well novel page, the book page matches in with this scrapbook paper. So I think that they're a good match and we're going to use those together. I'm going to clean up and we'll get on to step 2. Okay, so now we're on to step 2, which is popping down your background. So for this mixed media art journal page, I am using a mix of scrapbook paper and a book page. So I've torn them up and I'm going to glue them down. You need to keep in mind that at this stage, it will go through a really ugly stage and you won't want to continue with it. But that's really normal. So you just need to push through and keep going. On this paper, there's a really cool, that door. I'm going to cut this out rather than rip it up. So I'm going to cut it out and glue it on. And on the other side, there's a fantastic alphabet, random alphabet in a gorgeous vintage typography layout, which I'm going to utilize because our mini monthly challenge for the glittered roses on Facebook is numbers and letters. So I'm going to go with letters for the challenge, and this is going to be my challenge. Yeah, my project for this month's mini challenge. So the glittered roses is my Facebook group, and everyone's welcome to join. We would love you to join. It's just a small group of paper artists of all different kinds. So we have two monthly challenges. We've got community running at the moment and this one, which is numbers and letters. So I'm going to go for letters. All right, so when you're gluing, I like to pop a good amount down and over the top too to protect the top and the bottom. I'm going to try and include some interesting elements like this dragonfly, along with some of those letters. And with this page, of course, I've got to try and be careful not to cover up those squares because they go back into my rings or my wires because it's a wire-bound art journal. And I'm just going to layer. I can't talk today. Layer up some book page over on top as again. Just to give it some extra dimension. You don't have to worry too much because there's going to be paint and gesso over the top, maybe some texture paste. And by the time it all comes together, I'm not sure how much of anything we'll be able to see. So it's all a mystery until it's all finished. I think she's a gorgeous image. Okay, I'm going to finish the gluing, but you get the idea. Don't worry too much about it being ugly. I know it looks really mixy-matchy, but the next step is what I think is really important because it pushes everything into the background and makes it a background. Okay, I'll be back for step 3. Okay, so we're already up to step 3. I had a whoopsie daisy and I used the wrong color. So I'm starting again with Stamperia Nougat. I think that this should be the right color. And I'm also using some gesso. And so this is a trick that I use a lot. Um, and this is just, this gesso's feeling a little thick. And this is just pushing that background into the background and it blurs it. So this is a trick that I use quite a lot. Um, and it just makes things, it's not blending very well. I'll add some water. And it's just really just helps things disappear into the background. It connects those different different papers together along with connects the white spaces together. If you think of photography and when you've got like a blurry background but your sharp foreground, sort of that sort of a effect. And I wonder if this gesso is on the way out. It's not behaving. Okay, so adding a little bit of color, it's sort of blending that color, the book page color together. I really do like using gesso for this. It's a little bit more translucent than acrylic paint. It's a bit more textural. It's a bit easier to work with usually. I'm not having much luck with this gesso today. This is one of my favorite techniques, and I think to me, for me at least, this is one of my most important techniques. It really it gives me the effect that I really love on my page. It really sort of blends everything together and gives it that sort of soft, dreamy kind of look. And you can really build it up and make things disappear things and make other things stand out. Oh my goodness. My gesso that isn't behaving because it's not a gesso, it's actually modeling paste. Oh my goodness. No wonder, my modeling paste my gesso wasn't working very well. I could start again, but I think you'll forgive me and you might get a giggle. Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed. It's nearly as good as me losing my brads the day that I got them. Oh, jeez. Oh, look at that. That's going on a lot better. Okay, Kmart, just so. You're forgiven again. My goodness. So you get the idea. We're just blending the different areas together. You can block out areas. You can block them out so that other areas are more in focus. You can really get a creamy, dreamy sort of an effect. You can finger paint. You can use a brush. You can really texturize it up. But it's a lot of fun. We've also got to remember that with mixed media, you're putting a lot of layers on top, so it's not all that obvious by the time it's finished. It's nice having a bit of a mix of colors so that, yeah, it's not all flat as well. Alright, I'm gonna finish this up, and then we might get on to step 4. Okay, so we are up to step 4, and I nearly always add texture paste. I'm a massive fan of texture paste. Just I have learnt from experience that if I were to have a stencil with text on it, if I'm popping that over an area with text, it won't show up. So I'm using a pattern on my page as I have got a lot of text pattern paper. If you're using texture paste, just be aware of dry time. So some texture paste will let you use a heat gun. I know that the Kmart one does. However, a lot don't. So um, just make sure that it's safe to use a heat gun, that it won't puff up and carry on like a pork chop if you do. Some of them really don't like it. I know that the Tim Holtz really does not like you hitting it with a heat gun. And even this Kmart one, it really does do better if you can let it dry naturally. And it does dry really quickly naturally. So if I can, I'll walk away and have lunch and it'll be perfectly dry. So now I'm looking at my page and I really think that I need to go in with some gesso and just add some faux white space. There is a little bit there, and I'm just going to extend those areas. It's just a little busy to my eye. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white space because it's looking a little much at the moment. So that gesso can dry while the texture texture paste is drying. Gee, my brain isn't working too well today. I think I might be a bit tired. All right. I'm going to let that dry and then we'll be back with step 5. Okay, so step 5 is adding highlights. Um, I love after I've popped some texture paste is adding either some ink or watercolor through that texture paste. So when you run some color through texture paste, it really picks up the details. And the color really sort of sticks in those grooves, in the nooks and crannies, and um, really gets in there. So I'm popping some water on there and popping some color. I'm adding some dark purple color, and this is my Gansai graphite watercolor. I like the sort of the grungy graphite look of this, and I think it goes really nicely with the focal image. And my nails. Match the nails. I do like that run in the wash of color. I think that looks really nice. So I'd just like to point out that while I do use this six-step method a lot, I don't use it all the time, of course. Sometimes I'll do different methods, but this is sort of my go-to method. If I'm doing a collage mixed media art journal page, this is what I tend to do. And I think it's a fantastic method for beginner mixed media artists. It's a great way to begin. If something doesn't look right, you can always block it out with a bit of gesso. Gesso is your friend. And as I've said before, remember, it's only paper. If it has to go in the bin, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit of time, a bit of paper. You can start again. Or a really good lesson is to pop it away, don't look at it, come back tomorrow or the next day, and you might end up liking it. Sometimes you just need that little bit of a break, a bit of a, fresh eye. Sometimes I find I'll hate something, but if I step away and come back to it tomorrow, I think, yeah, it's not as bad as I was thinking. I have these birds that I made for another project and they're too blue. So I'm just going to give them a wash with that purple. Um, I don't think it's going to make them purple, but it'll just give it that sort of tone. So I'm going to, yeah, just see how that goes. Give it a dry off, and then we might audition it together and see what I think. All right, I'm thinking I really like the bird and the leaf there. I think that they're quite nice. I want to keep some of the letters visible for the Glittered Roses challenge. If you want to join the Glitter Roses, I'll make sure I link that in the description box, along with the link for Dark Secrets book on Amazon, if you want to grab yourself a copy there. So I'm going to glue down the focal image and the bird, and then we'll have a look at how else we can embellish this page. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit stumped at the moment. I'm not loving the two top corners. I think they're looking a little kind of blocky at the moment. I'm not sure if it's where I've positioned the girl or if it's just they are a bit blocky. So I want to sort of break that up at the moment. But that's a little bit how, um, to me, that's what mixed media is. It's, a little bit of problem solving and playing, and that's what I love about it. So, I'm just gonna have a look at what I've got in my stash. Audition different things. See, ideally, I wouldn't, usually I wouldn't pop two birds on the same side. I'd have them opposite sides, but I think it kind of works because one bird is turned one way and the other is looking the other way. So I think that looks correct. Um, but I just need something on the other side. I don't want that love heart. The other leaf is too copper, too rusty. Yeah, I don't like that there. I like it on the other side. Yeah, I definitely don't like it that side. I need something there. Just not sure what. But I think that paper really needs to be broken up a little bit. I don't like that. It's too rusty. I don't have any more green leaf, and I'm too lazy to cut up and spray now. So I'll have a look in my stash and see what I can find. Nope, don't like the butterfly. I'll be back. How about a sticker? I like that. That's just enough to break it up. Okay, so I'm going to watercolor that bird in the top left, and then dry him off and glue him down, and then I'll be back. So we're up to our sixth and final step, which is final touches. So I've grabbed my Stabilo or pencil and I'm just outlining different areas. So I'm starting with my sticker and just going around it. I love my Stabilo ore because it's got that really dark, deep black. It's water reactive and I can get that really grungy look. I'm adding more water where I want it to run a little bit more and just really going for it. I'm going to outline the um, the focal image, and then I'll just run around with water again. Sometimes it's hard to get too close to the image, but it doesn't matter. When you go over with the water, you can get it closer to the edge. So you can have um, you can have it blacker if you want to. You don't have to have it really black. You can have it a bit lighter like it is here. I think this is looking pretty good. I'm just going to run around the page with some pastel just to frame it. I don't think it needs a lot more. I think it's busy enough, but I'm really loving it. There's lots of layers and interest and texture. It's exactly what I love. Just my cuppa. You can really see when the page comes together how that background blending works. You can see how it softens that background and makes everything sort of push back into the background. The purple watercolor has brought out the color in her cheeks that I didn't necessarily think was there beforehand. Well, I have to say I'm really happy with the result. Even with using texture paste as gesso, it came out okay in the end. Um, I think I'm really happy with this page. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Lots of interest, lots of texture, bit of grunginess, bit of goth. I reckon it's cool. I'll pop it in the art journal and we'll have a close look and call it finished. All right, and here we are, all finished. Um, I am really happy with it, I have to say. I reckon it's a really cool mixed media art journal page. Lots of texture, lots of interest. My cup of tea. I think that the focal image is really gorgeous. I love the birdies. Makes me want to touch it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you want to give my 6-step mixed media method a go. Just a reminder, if you want to grab yourself a copy of my book, it's up on Amazon. There's some really cool images in it. It's been used. I do appreciate everybody's support. It's amazing. Let me know what you think of the page and my easy peasy 6-step mixed media method. Let me know if you've got any questions or comments. Be sure to share my video with your creative friends and hit the like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, all that good stuff. It would really help me out if you hit the like button or leave me a comment. I'm still trying to grow my channel. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll catch you next time. All right, guys, bye for now.